and gentlemen, let's continue the action and welcome our next fighter to the cage. Out of the red corner, this Dutch-style fighter stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight 140 pounds. Representing Second City and Fight and Fitness from Glennon, Illinois, let's welcome Angelo, the Great One, Walsh.
Now Angelo Walsh is making his way to the cage. He is 0-4 as an amateur, a former team top-notch fighter. When I spoke to him yesterday, he said the change in teams and the change in tempo, he's looking to actually make something of his MMA career.
He's trying to make some noise here.
You've trained with the kid.
He's a very focused young man, and let's see what he brings to the table tonight. He's always a game fighter, but sometimes things just don't go his way. Hopefully tonight he's looking to change the tides.
He does come in here to throw his hands as hard as he can. He says he's been working specifically on jiu-jitsu and wrestling to stay out of certain positions. Right behind him is the birthday boy photographer, Joey Hill. It's always good to see him out. Some hugs for the team.
There seems to be a little cage side confusion. I hope everything is all right. Possibly a corner discrepancy, I don't know.
Now Angelo Walsh is the one on his way to the cage right now. He's actually the person that was doing all of the
His opponent to the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. This MMA-style fighter stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, official weight 140 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jonathan King.
I'll tell you what, that guy really reminds me of a young version of Bruce Buffer, I will tell you what.
A young Bruce Buffer, there you go. Jonathan King, I'm sorry, coming out to the cage right now. It seems to be everybody wants Little Wayne tonight. Drake, Little Wayne, same guy.
Drake, Little Wayne, who knows, who cares really? I always say not my chair, not my problem, and you know, I just can't wait to see a great fight.
Absolutely. Multi-Boston Delicious D here at Rise 01, getting ready for Jonathan King versus Angelo Walsh.
And what I am really getting ready for is the after party at Rookies and Hoffman Estates. Burgers, beers, wings, whatever you want, they got it.
Ring card girls, hopefully.
They will be there.
Jonathan King and a nice little dance there. And the producer will be there. Hopefully the producer and the ring card girl can make something happen.
You know, it'd be a shame if it didn't work out.
Would be a shame.
I think love is in the air tonight.
Love is in the air tonight. Hopefully it's in the Rookies tonight as well.
You know, when I see her, I get that good old schoolboy feeling.
Good old schoolboy feeling.
Or I'd do anything to bone her.
Mr. D.
Sometimes I just gotta say what everyone's thinking.
There were about 1,400 people thinking that. Getting ready for the fight here. Jonathan King and Angelo Walsh.
1,401 if you include me.
As we get deeper
All
in
right,
the card.
enough with the banter. Let's see a fight.
As we get deeper in the card, we're looking at more higher level fighters, more experienced fighters, and
these guys are shredded. Friendly touch of gloves there. Classic righty versus southpaw.
Walsh looks like he's ready to get those hands going.
A big right hand.
Shoots from very far away.
You know, it would appear to me that changing camps has really done a lot for this young man, possibly.
Walsh eats a knee on his way in. Looked for an inside leg trip a little earlier. King pushed Walsh back to the cage.
Nice inside trip. I am a big fan of pulling to mount.
No.
When in doubt, pull the man into mount.
Absolutely. King goes for a judo throw and ends up pulling him directly into mount. Walsh is looking to posture up and land some ground and pound up against the cage.
King knows something we don't know. He has a really good move. Could Walsh be getting his first career victory in the cage tonight? Little fence holding.
Now Otto missed the fence hold.
If the ref doesn't see it, doesn't count, right?
Exactly. If the ref doesn't see it, it might not have happened. Looks like Walsh is working on getting position here before he starts to posture up, putting some shoulder pressure on the neck and chin of King. He's got the cross face. He's just looking for the posture at this point to start landing those heavy shots in there. If he can free that right arm.
Nice transition to the back.
As King rolls, Walsh goes right to his back and falls to his back and looking for that choke.
He's clearing the
and
hooks.
King
Nice
has
job.
gotten out. Some scrappy fellas here with the scrambling on the ground game. Walsh looking to land some left hands, but King is defending a lot of this very nicely.
King is defending. Walsh, I think, needs to get his hands free and try to advance his position here. King's doing a good job of fighting the hands.
Now looking at King's face, he looks very calm, very collected. He's not panicking at all in this position.
That might be back to the head, but I'm not a referee.
King stands up and Walsh immediately drags him back down, landing some knees to the thighs.
Nice knees to the body there. Control, he's waiting to get his hooks in.
Walsh goes directly for the back.
Nice.
Gets
Don't
the
cross
hooks
the
in.
feet though.
Dennis doing something that
His feet
Walsh
are crossed.
Now when you say crossing the feet, what kind of position as the guy looking for the choke does that put you in, Dean?
There is, and you see it less and less at the higher levels, but there is a tricky little ankle lock there that if the guy on top or on the back gets careless, can get caught in.
10
A general
seconds left
rule
in the
is
round.
don't cross your feet when you have the guy's back.
Now
Angelo
Walsh
is
is
just
gonna,
being smart and keeping position.
so Walsh rides that back out through the end of
Nice
the round.
10-9 victory.
Definitely have Walsh up after the first round. Not a lot of punches landed,
And he's
but definitely
definitely-
control.
Walsh has matured as a fighter. I've seen him fight before, and he's not as excited and aggressive as he used to be. He's much more composed, which is good because you can't get tired out in there.
Now I am getting very excited, very aggressive at this point. I won't tell the fans at home why, but our producer is getting a ton of love
And
from that ring card girl.
I just don't understand why. I'm getting yelled at.
We got the replay here as Walsh is riding the back, and he did this for a good portion of the round. I would say at least a good solid minute he rode King's back. If nothing else, it wins you the round.
He definitely did win the round. Controlled him, rode him out, went from full mount to back control. That might even be a 10-8 round, but I'm not a judge.
Now, Walsh has said he's been working a lot on his jiu-jitsu, but he did cross the legs, as you mentioned. Maybe needs to stay in there and do a lot more jiu-jitsuing at this
A
point.
little bit, but you never know. Some people just feel comfortable enough from there, and maybe he has really flexible feet, and he's aware.
Right. In these short 3-minute rounds, three 3-minute rounds, you know, King's in a position where he needs to win both of these rounds coming up and make a
Now,
statement. here in the
Angelo
second.
Walsh here has his mouth open breathing, which isn't a good sign.
Both guys are circling.
Jonathan King still looks very composed.
A nice body kick by Walsh. Right leg to the body.
Another nice leg kick.
Walsh seems like he wants to take his time and pick King apart from the outside a little bit. King seems a little perplexed as to what he should be doing at this point.
I think he just needs to stay calm and wait for his opening. Wait for Angelo to open up a little bit.
Good jab and an eye poke from Walsh as he tries to defend it. And if
Right.
Otto doesn't step in, now I say
Don't
it's
ever stop fighting unless the referee pulls you off.
absolutely.
As
Walsh,
like a wise man once said.
Walsh did the right thing by rushing into his fighter and making sure to land some punches.
Now it's
If-
funny you say that. I don't know what being Russian has to do with anything.
Russian Attack was my favorite game on Nintendo when I was a child, so maybe they got it from that.
I have no comment.
Yeah, the only comment I have is up, down, left, right, BA, start, unlimited lives. And at this point, Jonathan King needs to figure out his own combination to keep him from losing this bout.
I think you should tell him up, down, left, right, square.
Square shows my age when I bring out the Nintendo and Dennis has the PlayStation controller down pat. They resume action here.
Nice touch of gloves. Big right hand by Walsh. Nice movement.
Walsh seems to know a little better about what he wants to do in there. He has a more defined game plan, whereas King is just kind of coming forward. Walsh is looking to land punches, land kicks, and he's going to find himself in a winner's circle if he keeps this up. What he shouldn't keep up is his
Big
chin.
lefts.
Needs to keep his chin down. As they scramble, and King,
Now King looks to be the more physically strong fighter.
King nearly threw Angelo Walsh across the cage. Had that cage wall not been there, Walsh definitely would have been on the ground. Walsh's corner telling him to get his back off the cage, and he does almost immediately, but King wrestles him back into the same position. Walsh is still looking for that inside leg trip that he hasn't gotten yet.
Now, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So don't be surprised if you see one of these fighters slip a groin shot in here and catch a little breather.
Now, as far as the groin shot and ain't cheating, ain't trying, Walsh has grabbed his shorts a couple of times in these scrambles as a way to keep himself from falling on his back.
Ooh,
and he's picked
nice
up.
Slam. Triangle choke city.
King certainly is the stronger of the two fighters, but again, it seems as though he doesn't have a defined game plan as he went in there. He's just kind of winging things out.
Now, at 145 pounds, King is a very physically strong fighter. Landing some good ground and pound. If he finishes this round on top, it might be a tie fight, 1-1, and we might see our first fight going to the third round.
This is actually the furthest any of the fights have gone so far tonight, and I think it's because these guys are pretty evenly matched.
They sure are.
Their physicality seems to be close to each other. King a little bit stronger, Walsh a little bit faster.
The third round is going to come down to who wants it more.
That's a good point. I would think that Walsh would probably want it for more, being 0-4 in his amateur career. And he says he wants this more than anything, so hopefully he comes out of there at the onset of the third round unless something crazy happens here to end the second.
With 15 seconds left, it looks like we might be going to the third period here.
Oh, that one did end a little soon.
I guess there's a little time delay here.
And the timekeeper smartly did the time a little early so we could get more round card girl action.
Yes, I like what he is thinking.
If we can add a couple seconds to this, I don't think anybody's going to be mad about that.
Hello. Now, is it just me, or does each time one of these girls comes out, her butt hang out a little bit more?
I'm pretty sure they pull the shorts up a little bit just for your benefit, Mr. D.
Just for me. Or is it for our producer over here?
I think he has somebody.
I think they're all fighting over there for him.
Speaking of fighting, we're watching this replay as I think this is when King gets that takedown, when he picks up Walsh.
And now my unofficial scorecard is going to put it a tie fight, and it's all up to this third round.
I do have it even as well. Delicious D at Rise 01. This is the longest any fight has gone so far.
Anytime Fitness. Come to our booth and get 30 days free and enter to win a free membership. Anytime Fitness.
As we get set to start the third round, the first time we've seen that tonight. On the bright side, it means more round call girls for everybody around. As they touch gloves to start the third round, like you said, it's going to come down to who wants it more. And Walsh is throwing some big kicks to start this round. King seems a little more tired of the two, and Walsh is trying to land big shots and lands a headbutt instead.
Going for the single. These guys are fighting hard right here. Neither of these guys want to lose.
Walsh putting all that pressure, finds his back up against the cage like right before that takedown in the last round. Walsh listening to his corner to find a way out of this position.
And sometimes that's what you got to do, is have faith in your coaches and listen to them.
King's going back for that
nice
double
front
leg
headlock.
Ends
is he
up.
going to set up a front choke here?
Walsh seemed like he wanted to drag him, do a little drag
He's
down.
fighting the hands. It's a little hard with the fence behind you, but he should snap him down and put his face right on the mat.
King is working for that
Whoever has the
single
better
leg.
wrestling right here is going to come out on top. He is not letting go of the single. Walsh has this guillotine choke with the underhook. He should be able to defend. Nice knee.
Nice knee to the body, and
He almost
King goes
did
for
the
throw
mount
again.
pull again. Then we're nice.
And
Yep.
He does try for that mount pull. He's got something that everybody else doesn't. With only a minute and a half left in this fight,
That might not have been the smartest move. He might have just given the fight away right
you
there.
definitely do not want to end on your back in a fight. That's only
No.
3-minute rounds.
No.
And Walsh is landing some ground and pound,
And now if he
King
can ride
immediately
out
turns
the
to his
back for the last half of the round, I think we might see Angelo Walsh's first cage victory tonight.
Now King has to know that he's up against it. He's got a minute and 15 left. He's going to have to figure out a way to not only reverse this position, but change
Mount
the
some
tide a little bit.
offense. With a minute left, you got to give it your all. You can't lay here in turtle position.
And he looks very stone-faced. He's going to be pretty upset with himself if he loses a decision this way.
I'm
not getting
almost
tired of the
thinking
cage.
He looks like he's planning something.
Unless he's planning a slumber party, he needs to change what he's doing in there. Walsh landing some left hands, but King seems content to ride this thing out and maybe get a stand-up. Walsh switching sides. Lands a couple more right hands.
Nice control there by Walsh, keeping him down with the knees of the body. I think he's got this one in the bag. He's not going to let him up. He's going to ground and pound him and punish him for the next 30 seconds.
Delicious looking right hands and left hands to the head.
He let go of the waist. He might get a TKO here.
King spins, and Walsh is going to put him back on his back again.
I think this is
some hammer fisting.
29-28.
Walsh senses that he's got his first victory coming here.
He is not going to let up. Way to push the pace at the end of the fight there.
As
by
that
Walsh.
fight ends, I got it Angelo Walsh 2 rounds to 1. I think that anybody with the pulse or watching this fight has it the exact same way.
Well, we'll see what the judges saw. I've seen worse.
I have seen worse. Where I haven't seen worse is at the Tattoo Candy booth, where they're tattooing 3 lucky winners from a Facebook challenge. Watching this ground and pound at the end, Angelo Walsh senses this victory. Now, none of this lands is necessarily clean, but at this point, it doesn't have to, right?
He's being the more active fighter. He's putting the work in. He's showing that he wants to win more.
Now, when you say showing he wants to win more, I mean, at the end of the second round, you said it. Whoever comes out harder at the end of the third round, who wants it more, is going to take this thing home, and I think Angelo Walsh did exactly that. Angelo Walsh gives us a little thumbs up.
He looks pretty confident in this victory, but they always say don't leave it to the judges.
They do always say that.
Now, who is they?
I don't know. The proverbial they are always saying crazy stuff. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it makes 0 sense whatsoever. But the they in this case, as Angelo Walsh is, I mean, he pretty much controlled the action in the first and third rounds. In the first round, riding from the back, and the third round with this round
of MMA action. We go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored for your winner by unanimous decision, Angelo, the Great One, Walsh.
And there you have it. Unanimous decision for Angelo Walsh. Again, he controlled the first round, riding the back, third round with that ground and pound.
Hard-earned victory there. Good work.
It's definitely good to see that for a kid who's 0-4. Keeps him in the sport for the most part, keeps him in the gym.
Absolutely. A lot of guys after 4 losses would have been hanging up the gloves. Not Angelo.